Albert Einstein once said, "Knowledge is limited, imagination encircles the world." What if there was a place that exemplified this notion, that encouraged the next generation of leaders to apply knowledge in new and exciting ways? That place is right here in El Paso, Texas. Welcome to La Nube. So tell me about this mist, because I almost feel like I'm coming out of a cloud here.
That's because we are. And La Nube is the Spanish word for cloud, and it's what the Steam Discovery Center is named for.
And I noticed in the facade that it's very heavily inspired by the concept of a cloud. Like even the barrel-vaulted roofline, it's such a deviation from the typical El Paso skyline.
Absolutely. This is a very playful, expressive silhouette. This is a purpose-built, state-of-the-art Steam Discovery Center.
What about the garden here? Because we are in a desert climate. So how did you make this practical?
Well, this is an oasis of native vegetation that we find here in our beautiful Chihuahua Desert. The granite boulders also come from the mountains here.
Yeah.
So this is very much of its place. And it's free and open to the public. You don't have to visit the Steam Center to enjoy the garden.
There is such a wonderful sense of openness in here.
Well, Jordan Foster, the contractors, and Arup, the engineers, worked very hard to give us these tall ceilings and long spans so that we could have these grand vistas across the Discovery Center.
And what about this big screen where the kids are playing?
This is an interactive wall. These kids are playing here, and there's a children's museum across the border in Juarez, which has a similar wall. So when kids are in front of that exhibit over there, they can see kids over here, and the kids here can see what's going on over there. So it's a real-time connection between cultures and borders.
Wow.
Yes, this is so important because we are right in the heart of a bicultural and bilingual community, and it's very important to be inclusive and celebrate that in the Discovery Center.
And I also noticed that the signage switches from English to Spanish. What was the intention behind that?
So the language and the signage is all non-hierarchical and random. So sometimes Spanish comes forward and sometimes English comes forward. So it's a completely random mix.
Paulina, so right now we're standing in the 50-foot climber room, also known as the Anything Possible Climber. Who was the design team behind the structure?
So Gyroscope Inc. designed this exhibit specifically to help children of all ages and abilities develop their gross motor skills.
And how did Gyroscope balance the thrill of climbing the structure and safety?
Within the climber itself, there is a stair called the Parallel Universe Staircase that allows an adult to follow their child through the climbing structure with glass guardrails provided by Livers Bronze for safety and also for visibility of their child. Additionally, we would like for children of all abilities to participate in this climbing, and we have a wheelchair challenge course on level 4, so all folks can participate in the children's climber.
Well, I think it's my turn to climb, so I'm gonna go down that slide.
Go try the slide.
Gina, so right now we're in the Desert Blooms area. How was this space designed with the youngest at mind?
Yeah, we really thought of them throughout every single design element, from the fabrics to the craftsmanship to the art. In this section, we really lean into the A in STEAM, because what STEAM stands for is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And so you'll see art all around you. If you look over here, it is an incredible mural that is done by a local artist, Christina Podaca, and really an ode to our Chihuahuan desert. So you can see the cacti, the colors, the animals.
And how did you incorporate language learning in this space?
So we have this lingual that is really a tribute to that. And so what it does is it teaches kids the 6 sounds while they are acquiring language, and really helps them connect to their community while they're learning communication.
That's great. It's the best of both worlds.
Absolutely.
I'm seeing a lot of machines in this room, from CNC machines to 3D printers and robotics. Like, what's going on here?
This is what's called a makerspace. It's hosted and run by our friends at Fab Lab, and it's a place where you can make almost anything you can dream of. So you can have an idea, you can make a drawing, you can make a digital model, and then it can be printed and fabricated. If you're interested in medicine or art or aerospace, any kind of engineering, there's an application for these tools here and the skills that you learn in this lab, and I think it instills a love of learning.
Absolutely. Hey, what's that space that's over there?
Over there, that's called Flow, and it's all about water. It's about how we use water, what it means to us in the desert, in this dry climate, how it's conserved, and it's actually recycled right here on site. So there's no water wasted here at La Nube. It's really important to show how important water is in just our daily lives, whether it's a washing machine or seeing how a toilet flushes, all of that water and how it's consumed, wasted, and recycled. So kids can learn all about that at the same time, just, escaping the heat a little bit, and getting wet and playing in the water and having fun.
That's such a great way to teach kids on an otherwise boring subject.
It's kind of sneaky, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so cool. Much like a cloud, La Nube shapes young minds into curious explorers and drifts into a boundless landscape of imagination. It is a place where learning, fun, and discovery have no borders. Now I'm gonna sit back, relax, and see where my imagination takes me.